For 4 centuries, over 12 million Africans were forced across the Atlantic Ocean, a movement so massive and so devastating that it reshaped the population, culture, and economy of the entire modern world. This is the story of how the transatlantic slave trade began, how it operated, and why its impact is still felt across continents today. Before European ships arrived, West and Central Africa were home to powerful, advanced kingdoms, including the Mali Empire, Benin Kingdom, Oyo Empire, and Congo Kingdom. These societies had established political systems, armies, trade routes, culture, art, architecture, and scholarship. Africa was not a passive continent. It was a thriving collection of civilizations. European contact began in the late 1400s when Portuguese explorers reached the coast of West Africa. They were followed by the Spanish, British, French, and Dutch. Trade started with gold, spices, ivory, and textiles, but demand for forced labor in the Americas soon changed everything. This created the triangular trade, one of the most influential economic systems in world history. European ships carried manufactured goods to Africa. Captured Africans were transported across the Atlantic to the Americas, the brutal journey known as the Middle Passage. And plantation crops like sugar, tobacco, cotton, and coffee were shipped back to Europe. European powers built heavily fortified trading posts along the coastline, such as Elmina Castle and Cape Coast Castle. Some African middlemen, rulers, and merchants participated in capturing and selling captives through warfare and raids. Others strongly resisted, refusing to cooperate with European traders. The Middle Passage was the most defining part of the trade. Enslaved Africans were transported across the Atlantic Ocean in extremely harsh conditions. Many did not survive the journey. Those who did were sold in the Caribbean, Brazil, and North America, where they were forced to work on plantations. Brazil and the Caribbean received the largest number of enslaved Africans. The United States received a smaller percentage, but its plantation system grew rapidly and powerfully. The labor of enslaved Africans produced immense wealth that built European empires and transformed the Americas. Despite the suffering, enslaved Africans resisted in many ways. They preserved languages, traditions, music, and beliefs. They escaped, rebelled, and formed hidden communities. The most significant uprising was the Haitian Revolution, led by figures like Toussaint Louverture, which lasted from 1791 to 1804 and created the first free black republic in the Americas. By the late 1700s and 1800s, resistance, economic changes, and powerful abolitionist movements began to weaken the slave trade. Influential voices like Olaudah Equiano, William Wilberforce, and countless African and European reformers demanded its end. Britain abolished the slave trade in 1807 and slavery in 1833. The United States abolished slavery in 1865. Brazil, the last in the Americas, ended slavery in 1888. The transatlantic slave trade lasted about 400 years. Its impact is still visible today, in the global African diaspora, in music and culture, in inequality, in identity, and in the social structures that shape modern life. Understanding this history is essential not to reopen old wounds, but to recognize how the past continues to influence the present. If this taught you something new, like, share, comment, and follow for more powerful history documentaries.